Okay.
Okay. Boy, howdy. So I screenshotted it, so I have the questions. We can pick and choose like which ones we want to talk about. It's totally up to you guys. What are some successes you have experienced lately? Not staying alive. No,
I don't know about you, but it has been just chaotic. Like,
yes.
I feel like I barely got the PPAT done in time.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I need to get the jump start on the next one because I was waiting too late and then I was trying to like, okay, this is serious business.
I agree in the like I'm a planner. So I planned it out day by day. I was going to give myself 2 days to write each text box, right?
Yeah.
And it worked well. Like there were a couple days I didn't do anything, but I was able to get it caught up. But task 2 and 3, I looked at them and it is so much more information. Like,
Yes.
I
And
know
then,
I'm
holy cow, the fact
dreading
that you
it.
have 3 weeks to do
yeah.
double the amount is just mind
Right.
blowing.
And I think,
But
when we have the meeting on Wednesday, it's kind of like I I looked at it, but it doesn't help me to know what I'm really digging into until we talk it in more depth because
Right.
I can get like data, but I don't know what they mean all by some of that baseline data and how far you want us to go.
Right. Yeah. I haven't looked at it a whole lot. I wanted to give myself a couple days to breathe. So, because it seemed like every time I sat down, like during either lunch or planning period, and then even when I got home, it's just, I felt like I barely got anything done
Yeah.
until the other day. I just said, I told everybody, I said, this is enough. Go away and let me work. So,
Mhm.
yep.
Exactly what, yeah. And it's so hard when you're in school, your focus gets pulled in so many ways with your lessons and, just doing
mhm.
that. Then you get home, and for me, it's like, how do I train my brain to say, okay, I've got to focus on this, a whole different
Right.
scenario? Because I always
Mhm.
planned to look at it during school day, but then the planning period got
Mhm.
pulled into, you cover this, you help with this. I'm like, okay, that's not going to work.
And lunch, what's lunch?
Exactly. It's pretty fast. Take your little breather
It
and then
is.
plan for what you're going to do in the afternoon. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. This doesn't have anything to do with the PPAT, but I'm so proud of it. Like it was a great moment. So, we have this little boy. So I teach at like a very diverse school. And there's
Mhm.
a little boy, and like they always taught us, representation matters, like make sure that the books that you're reading represent all the students in your class, right?
Mhm.
And so we were reading this book and it was called like More Than Peach, I believe is what it's called. And it's about this girl who like she has darker colored skin and all the students in her class keep asking, "Hey, can you pass me the skin color marker? Can you give me the skin color marker?" She's like, "Well,
Oh.
that's not my skin color."
Yep.
But they're asking for like, the peach
Mhm.
colored
Yeah.
crayon. And
Right.
so she talks to her mom about it, and they're like, "Well, next time, just give them your skin color marker." She's like, "Well, I don't think that's right either." So she eventually starts
Right.
asking the students or like her classmates, "What color of crayon would you like?" And then the teacher starts doing that. And then pretty soon, like everyone is just, like, what color crayon would you like? And one of the little boys in our class who also has darker skin, he was so excited that he was like, "That's me. I see me." And like he was looking
Yeah.
at like the skin color and like the same hair and everything.
Yeah.
And it was just like
Mhm.
we started crying. Like my CT and I, we just started crying because it was like this little boy finally sees himself in a book, like in a read aloud. And then it
Right.
was like, oh, all the other students were like, "Oh, she has glasses," or just
Mhm.
like different thing, like that's me. But just for him to be able to be like, "Oh my gosh, I see myself and to relate to the book," just oh, it was
Right.
so cute.
I love that there are books like that out there and available now because we read one right towards the beginning of school. It's called All My Stripes. and it's about the zebra, and it's specifically geared toward autism. And we have a student that is like in the queue to be tested for it. And so, we wanted to read it to all the students so they wouldn't necessarily exclude her from things, because she is kind of difficult to deal with sometimes, and they tend to try to just kind of ignore her or exclude her from certain things. And so we made sure to read it towards the beginning of the year to make sure that they realize, hey, she might be a little different than what you expect for normal, but it doesn't mean she's not, a person. So it was a really neat book too.
Yeah. I think the thing that I've found that I didn't know how it would go, but I've been trying to do like read across the country or read across the world. So for the social studies, we only have like a 15-minute plan period. I mean, we don't cover as much as we should with social studies. So when I'm taking over it, we're doing like a different book from different countries. And I'm like, oh, is this gonna go over? And then I have like 2 kids that every day they're so excited to come in before we get started. Well, what country are we going to today? Like, I didn't think that was actually going to fly, but like they enjoy. And then we did a big map so they can take a push pin, and then put it into the map so they can see the location of where they've gone. And it's really made a difference for some of them. Like, oh, it's kind of cool to see their eyes kind of twinkle, like, oh, where are we going? And then I usually do like a read aloud with them, like through YouTube, or if I have the book, I'll read the book. But yeah, that's been fun to do.
That's neat. Okay, I'm going to turn my camera off for like half a second so I can readjust, because I guess my internet is like spotty, and I don't think you guys want to get seasick by me moving. Okay. So how's everything going for you otherwise? I know you were having concerns with behavior and stuff like that in your class.
It's gotten better. It's not 100% better. I think we just have a difficult group of just talkies. Like, I think that's just how the year is. We've got really more strict about quiet time. Like, even when they're independent working, they can't just sit down and do that without talking like among each other. So we've had to have those not so nice moments of head down, quiet, try to revamp it, try it again, kind of multiple times. It's getting better, but it's not. Yeah, they getting, and I try not to take personal anymore, because for a while there I was thinking it's me, but they can go to science and get in trouble. I mean, they have independent science. They're going to the music room and getting in trouble. It's the talking is
everywhere. Right.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's not just during my time that we have the issues. So I'm learning to kind of decompress it. Because for a while I was thinking,
pick your battles.
Yeah, they will not be quiet for me. But we've done a lot more of chants back and forth. I found that Simon Says, surprisingly, like you said, Simon Says, be quiet, sit down. It works better than if you were to say it in the teacher voice. So I'm like, okay, we're just going to do Simon Says. And then we've done some, I did bingo, where if they get, I put like 3 numbers up on the board. If they get all 3 numbers during their time for staying on task, they get to pick 3 numbers for bingo. And then if they get it at the very end, they get like a 10-minute free time at the end of the day before they pack up. So that's helped a little bit. Like, they earned free time today, which for a while there, they didn't
progress.
Yeah, for a while there, they weren't getting any of the numbers. And then the other day, they ended up getting all 3 of the numbers. So we're getting there. It's only been 20 some days, you think. That's what I keep trying to tell myself, like, they should really know this by 20 some days in. But
every class is gonna be different too. Next year, you might have a class that just nails it. They're great right from the start, and other ones are gonna be a mess.
They struggle with my mentor teacher too. So I'm gonna just like, okay, I just gotta remember that it's every day is different with them.
So I don't remember when we had our last Zoom thing, but I'm pretty sure this happened after we had it. I almost had a kid throw a chair at me.
Wow.
And my CT, she is like, the first time it happens, like it shocks you and you want to cry, like it's emotional for you. But she says after the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, the 40th time, like she's had plenty of kids do this. So she knows how to handle it. But it was the most terrifying experience I've ever gone through. He didn't actually throw it. He just picked it up and would like slam it back down. But it was also the same day that the other second grade classroom had a student who threw chairs, ripped apart a cabinet, threw a screw at the teacher, threw a chair at the teacher, like destroyed everything, right? They had to evacuate the classroom and come into our room.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And it was the same day, and so it was just an emotional day. But yes, he picked up the chair, looked me dead in the eye, and I was like, this is it. I am going to have a child who is throwing a chair. But he didn't. I'm thankful for that. But that moment, like, I don't know. I never thought I would have to go through that.
And not in second grade, especially.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But she was like, oh yeah, like I've had plenty of things thrown at me and you just learn to ignore it. And she's like, yeah, I'm to the point now I don't even flinch when something is thrown at me. Like I've been hit with plenty of things. And she's like, you get to the point where it just doesn't bother you anymore. Like you just ignore it because they want the attention. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like I don't know. It was terrifying, but
yeah.
Wow.
And just emotionally exhausting too, because you have to be the adult in the room and to like tell all of your other kids, like everybody knows that like you don't look at a student in the comm seat, which is where he was. But when you're the adult and you want to look over and you want like you hear the like and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Like, I don't know. It's hard to be the adult in the room and not the oh my gosh, what's happening? But
yes, exactly.
But we made it.
I've had a few of my kiddos say, "You're not the teacher." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, yes, I am. Right now, I am." I mean,
right, yeah.
So yeah, I've had a couple defiant moments, and one of them, unfortunately, I'm going to go into SPED the next semester, and one of them's my going to be soon to be student,
Sped
and
student.
she will put herself into my space, like where my desk is. I have like a kidney table thing, and she'll go sit in my seat without permission from either one of the teachers and just make herself at home there. And then if you try to get her to move, it's just the complete shutdown. Or for me, you're not my teacher. You can't tell me what to do. I'm like, okay.
We had a complete meltdown yesterday with the student that's in queue for autism testing. She didn't do anything that was potentially going to harm anybody, but we were working on group solar ovens, and she just had it in her head that they absolutely had to cut the top of the box off, that that had to be done. So she grabbed the scissors and she was about ready to stab a hole in the box, and so I'm like trying to intervene, and all the girls at the table are just like egging it on, and I was like, okay, I need you three to go sit somewhere else so I can de-escalate the situation. I was just like, oh, this isn't gonna work. So it's but I mean, other than that, I really think these last several weeks have gone really well.
Yeah, it's definitely made a great improvement. Yeah. Today were the kids squirrely for you guys today? Like, I think here it was rainy enough that it kind of
we had to have indoor recess.
Yeah, they were a little even like the older kids and the other grades, they were just kind of weird. Like bouncing everywhere.
And I think the weather has a lot to do with that.
Yeah. I have pretty much phased everything in. I will start reading next week, but I'm doing math, social studies, and progress project-based learning. So I'll start reading next week and then do that for 4 weeks too. So I'm kind of almost done with math, but she did it in different sections of it.
I'm in a cooperative classroom that has 2 4th grade classes, so we have almost 40 students. So
Mhm.
we decided the best thing to do was for me to take over social studies and reading in the first half of the semester, phase those back to the teacher, and then take over the
Okay.
math and science for the second half for me. And I'm kind of relieved because I don't know that I would want to teach 40 students all 4 of those subjects at the same,
Yes,
in a
exactly.
day.
I think
So,
the one that scares me the most is the reading for some reason, because the curriculum is fairly new to the district, and I know
mhm.
even the teachers are struggling with some of the concepts that they
Oh
want
no.
to be reinforced. Like first graders writing, like I don't remember what it was, but some kind of essay, and I'm like, they can write a sentence. Like we're getting
Right.
just getting to forming the letters and forming words into the sentence, and you
Let
want them
alone an essay. Oh
put
my
them into
goodness.
like a 2 to 3 sentence something. I'm like,
Mhm.
not so then the teacher's like, well, we're just not doing that. I'm like, so how do I know when I get the book in front of me
Right.
what? And I don't want to put them in modes of frustration because they know they
Mhm.
can't do it. And then that's when the behaviors start to kind of
Mhm.
creep out.
Escalate.
Yeah. But we were just going to look at it, and I think I'll do like it's a 30-minute period, so I'll probably just highlight 2 or 3 different things within that book and then go over it with her to see if she thinks it's doable or not doable, because
Mhm.
it's but math has been we have Eureka, and it's fairly
Mhm.
like you do step 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 step, so that one's been going
That
okay.
helps a lot.
Yeah. And then the other ones I'm just pulling in ideas as I find them, kind of brainstorming ideas. Time management and stress management. I'm like,
What's that?
time management and stress management.
Uh,
How are you doing, and what works and what has not worked?
Oh, I don't even know because the second I get home from being at school, it just launches into family things because I've got 2 kids. I'm married. We live out in the country, so we've got all of these other
Yep.
responsibilities. So sometimes I feel like I don't even get to sit down to de-stress until like 9 o'clock.
And that's your time when you should be kind of just, but then you have
Mhm.
all these thoughts in your head. That's
Mhm.
me. I sometimes can't like shut it off at night. Like I'm like, oh, well, tomorrow I need to do this, this, and this, and this, and then I don't have that. Yeah.
I dialogue in my head when I'm trying to go to sleep, and then I end up dreaming about class.
No, that's my worst. Yeah, I'm one of those ones that'll analyze every portion if I don't kind of find a way to kind of come down from it.
Yep.
yep. I'm like an overthinker. So if one thing like goes wrong,
Yep.
that's all I'm gonna think about the rest of the night. Like forget it. It
Yep.
doesn't matter that everything else went right. If
It's
one
the
thing
one
went wrong,
thing.
like I'm just gonna think about it. I'm like, everybody noticed that. Like, why did I say that? Like, and in reality, like no one noticed, no one cares. Like,
Yeah.
but
And then they like by the
still.
next day they're fine. Well, so
Mhm.
like something you did, you're like, oh, they'll carry over to the next day. But
And
truly,
then it
it is a
doesn't.
every day is a different day with them. So
Mhm.
that's a good thing. Like some of the kids you make mad, I'm always worried about
Mhm.
the next day. Are they gonna come in like still furious with you?
Right. That
Nope.
student that had the meltdown yesterday, I was so worried that she was gonna come back today and she was gonna still have a bone to pick with me because I had to stop her from stabbing scissors into the box and
Mm,
try to,
yep.
calm her down. And so I thought we were gonna have, a freeze out today, but nope, she came right in.
Yep.
She was super talkative with me. So I was like, okay,
Yep.
I'm glad.
Even my chair throwing child
Mhm.
gave me a hug when he went home, and the next day he was
Like
fine.
nothing happened.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
like,
good. You're over it.
yeah,
Yeah, because I sure cried when I got home. So,
it was still in your head for a while.
oh yeah.
Oh boy. I had like when I was a para, I had a
Mhm.
kid that took a pencil, but he was a chewer on the pencils too. So then when he did try to, jab me with it, it was soft enough that it didn't do any damage. And then the next day he was like, "Oh, you're my best buddy." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You tried to." I'm like, "Okay. I'm glad
Yeah,
we got it fixed and you're good."
it's a roller coaster.
Yep. Yep. And then one of the cool things that our school's doing is doing like they do like different days set aside for things. And tomorrow they're doing like animal stuff. So we're having like a zookeeper come out and a whole bunch of cool things. But then it worries me because they put me in charge like of a section of kids that are from different grades. I'm like,
Oh.
I just got used to the first grade kind of thing. I'm like, oh, let's pull in some fourth and third.
We're gonna mix it up for you.
Exactly. But I think a lot of the activities will be so like good. I don't think they'll have-
Entertaining. Yeah.
like we can do this. And it's Friday and it's the end of the day kind of scenario. So they'll be interested and ready to
Mhm.
do it. But yeah, I think time management is just, I have every good of intention of writing things down and getting them accomplished, but then I need to sit down and actually check them off and make sure that I'm
Mhm.
following through. I
Yep,
need to put me in the, go with the flow kind of person.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
sticky notes. I write them out and I stick them on my computer. I stick them on something where I'm going to see them so I don't forget something.
Yep. That is, my planner is my best friend at the moment.
Oh, mm-hmm.
You guys are like I am. We're just done. Done with the day. I'm like,
Okay.
But yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything in it. I don't think we had to do like,
No, I don't think we have to cover. I think they're mostly just talking points to just kind of
yeah, and I think we
started.
talked about PPAT and time management and stress, and I think that's a lot of things right there. And
Mhm.
my cooperating teacher's been great to work with. I wish I had I've been like doing classroom management research on my own just to see if I can pull some ideas on my own. But then I almost feel like, should I be doing that? Or if I'm not saying the same things that she's saying and I try something new,
Mhm.
I don't, but so
We
far,
had to start using a queuing system because we have like 3 or 4 that will just blurt out when we're
yes,
down in a whole group lesson. And so, we tell them, if our hand is up, you're supposed to be raising your hand. If we put our hands out, then everybody can just answer and blurt out. Or they have one where you think of your answer, you hold it in your hand, and then when the teacher releases, the whole class can like blurt out. And that's
gotcha.
really, really helped with a lot of the blurting out and everything. And
One
then
thing that kind of has made a difference is we read a book called something about having volcanoes in their mouth, so not to just blurt it out.
Wait, was it My Mouth is a Volcano?
Yes, that's worked pretty good too. With like, okay, hold your volcano, take a breath, put your hand up,
Yep.
and then
Cute.
it's getting there.
That one.
And some of them will have volcanoes forever and a day, and it's just like, let's just keep them to a minimum. Yeah. But I think we're at 10 minutes to go, so I think we're good. I will try to upload it to YouTube and send it through that way. That way we can just share the YouTube link.
Isn't that what we did last time? Was just
we had to
just
end up doing that because that file I had to go to Google Drive, so I'll just put it on my Google Drive and then upload it from there into YouTube.
Okay.
Since
Sounds
it was
good.
so big.
Sounds good.
But I will get that to you as soon as possible.
Great. Thank you.
Right.
You're welcome. You guys have a great evening.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.